Welcome to Marriage Monday with Jeremiah and Savannah Jennings. The Jennings own Growing Green Landscapes and are very happily married. In this podcast, Jeremiah and Savannah discuss the wins, losses, good times, bad times, and everything in between pertaining to owning a business while maintaining a healthy marriage along the way. We hope you enjoy the show.
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to another episode today here on the Growing Green Podcast. This is your host, Jeremiah Jennings. Joined along with us today is Miss Savannah for our Marriage Monday episode number 6, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you excited?
6. Yeah.
This is going to be pretty fun. We're going to go through some things today, just a few key points that I think are valuable and can help you when it comes to running a business and being married at the same time. So, if you hear some extra breathing in the background, that is Savannah, because Savannah is 32 weeks pregnant now.
You don't have to say anything about it.
You're going to hear it, trust me.
Or just pass out by the end of this.
There's no hiding
trying to hold my breath.
She's trying to hold her breath, but that's not going to happen. So I can't hit the mute button literally every time. But it's hard to breathe quietly as a 32-week pregnant human being, because you have, how big is he now? Going on 4 pounds. He's over 4 pounds by now, probably.
Probably about 4 pounds pressing my lungs, so, you know.
Yep, so it adds a little bit of a challenge to breathing. So if you hear anything in the background, that's what it is. But I hope you're enjoying these Monday episodes. This has been a fun new thing that we've been doing here the last, like I said, little over a month now. And it's something that I thought about for a while before we did it, and I think it's something that I wish we had more than we do, and I'm looking forward to the value that it brings. Hopefully somebody out there, and maybe somebody else will start doing it down the road. You never know. I would love to hear 3 or 4 or 5 of these podcasts out so I could get brain food from them, and we can grow our marriages as well. So if you're new to the show, thanks for tuning in. It's Jeremiah and Savannah. We are a young married couple in Alabama that run a lawn maintenance company, Growing Green Landscapes. You can find us on Instagram, and there's a whole over 100 episodes here on the podcast. You can go back and listen to our story. But what we wanted to talk about today is 5 secrets for maintaining a successful business and a marriage. And they're not really secrets. They're just principles that everyone should be doing and implementing in their lives, and their marriages and their businesses, just so in their lives in general. But it's things that sometimes get looked over and they don't get really talked about a lot. They don't get the points don't get really hit on enough. And so I found this. It was just an article that I was reading on the internet, and we're just going to take some from some of these points today.
Yeah, can't really take credit for all this. It's just good stuff that we agree with.
Yeah, 100%. No, we don't take 100% credit for this. We're just going to do our own little ad-lib in here and use some of the key points. It's from entrepreneur.com if you want to go look at it. But what it is, you just, like I said, we got a few points here we're going to go through. Point number 1 is establish long-term vision for life, not just your business. That's something that, honestly, we both struggle with, I feel like.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I think it's really easy as business owners when you sit down and talk about your visions and goals for them to be centered around the business and that be kind of what you talk about. But it's important for us as, a married couple, as husband and wife, to think about what our goals and what our vision is for our life together, not, outside of the business. Because whether or not we have the business in 20 years, we're going to be married. So we need to have visions and plans and things that we have for us, not just for the business.
100%. And, I mean, if I'm being honest, like, I got to stop saying 100%. I got to get better at that. That's my go-to reply. I've got to, every time I say it, I think of it. And that is not excellence in broadcasting, as Paul Jamison would say. But one thing that I think that hits me home for me, because I'm not really, like, I try to be a vision caster and a dreamer, but that's not really me. Like, it's deep down into it. I can't put on that facade. Like, it's not who I am. I'm just not that good at it. Some people are. We know Brian and Liz.
I think about them and their vision board and all their stuff, and that's just not.
And they're great at it. They're very good at it, and that's good. I mean, and it's something that I want to be better at. Like, I'm trying to be better about it, because I think some of the reasons that they're so successful and why their lives have changed so much in the past 5 years is because of the dreams and goals and visions they set for themselves and their family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that we need to get better at now.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I mean, we got Jack coming in 2 months. then what are we vision casting or goal casting for when he's 5 years old,
Right.
5 years down the road?
Well, I think it's easy. You know, we obviously want to be better at that and having visions and dreams, but also you kind of get into this like whirlwind of like stage in life where you're kind of just not necessarily surviving, but keeping your head above water and just trying to kind of keep up. And so you feel like you're doing good to just do that. And so it's like you don't even feel like you have time for these visions and dreams. So you're kind of just trying to keep up with where you're at right now and enjoy that. Because I'm a big, really just trying to enjoy what I have in the moment. Like I'm a very sentimental person as far as I realize that, you know, where we're at right now won't be the way it is forever. So I really am one of those people that tries to just soak in the point in life that we are in. And sometimes I feel like dreaming and visions and all, you know, like having those things can sometimes take away. So I think it can be, there's a balance in it, I think, for sure.
Yeah, and it can be scary to look so far out. Like, it can be scary to look 10 years down the road or 15 years down the road because we don't know where we'll be.
Right.
But you need to set some plan in place to try to get to somewhere where you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's something that we're having to work with because a lot of our friends are in the same stage of life that we're in, and we're getting into having kids, and like we're getting such a crucial point in life now where if like we need to be setting our kids' futures, not just our own.
Right.
Like in 20 years, 30 years, and that's the thing. So in 5 years we want to be in a certain place. In 7 years we want to be in a certain place. In 3 years we want to be in a certain place. But we got to look towards the 30 and the 40 year marks when our kids are having kids. What legacy are they going to have to look up to?
Yeah. And what
have we built?
Yeah. What kind of life do we want to live and
like
show our kids?
We have to decide where we want to be, and then what are we going to do to get there?
Right.
Like because if we don't determine that plan for 35 years from now,
we'll wake up and
it'll
be here.
Exactly, and we're
we
not
won't
going
have
to have done
anything to
anything.
show for it. Yeah.
So that's something I think, especially all you young guys out there that are married or getting engaged or whatever, that you're in that point of life, like, don't get so caught up in the moment that you don't look down the road.
Yeah, but also don't spend so much time looking down the road
exactly,
that you
because
let
we're not
this stage of
guaranteed that
life
time.
pass you by. Yeah,
we're not guaranteed that time. The rapture could happen tomorrow, and we could be out of here. We could be out of here before this podcast goes live. Like you never know.
Right.
But the thing is like you still have to put a plan in place. Like it's like people plan for retirement. People plan for all the things in life that happen when you get older. They plan for disease and being sick and whatever it is. People have a plan for it. So you want to make sure that you don't just live your life and run your business day to day. And this kind of transitions into the next point where we're going is what does it mean to run your business, not just own? I mean, what does it mean to own your business, not just run your business? Because that's something that you were talking about. Like you get caught up in this whirlwind of just going day by day, trying to keep the business running every day. You don't get out of it and set up your business to run without you. And so going back to your vision for the future, like our vision for the future, I think with each other is we want to travel. We've already made that pretty clear. Like I want to have the freedom to travel whenever and wherever I want to, essentially, is where I would like to be. And we have to put steps in place to get us there. So reverting back to one, travel is where we want to be. And that's something else in this article, the people that wrote this. They've been married for, I think, 25 years. They've run a business for 15, I think, and they want to travel with their kids one day. And that's something that I want to do. I think a lot of people out there want to do. But the matter of the fact is that you can't do that if you're still running your business every single day. Yeah. If you're not just owning it. And it's something that I have to really look at and really think about every single day because I am still in the point where I'm running my business. I have not delegated enough to be totally just an owner. And it's not saying it's a bad thing if you're out in the field still. That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, especially for a lot of people I feel like are listening or maybe newer in business. And so you don't want to also give the expectation that, 2 years in you're going to be top dog and not in it every day because that's just not realistic either, I feel like.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. You have to put the time in. You have to put the work and the effort in. But early on in your business, I think you do need to set up. Like, you need to set up these goals of where you want to be in 30 years. Yeah. And in order to get to those goals, you have to run your business. I mean, you have to own your business.
Well, I think it just kind of ties into one, which is make that a vision for your life. Well, that it's for both business and your life to be able to own your business and not run it every single day. So decide that now, figure out what you need to do to make it happen, and start working on it. And that's probably going to mean running your business for a while.
Yeah, I know it does. It does. But some ways that you can do that is by strong planning and resource allocation. That's something that I read from this. It was like, man, that's really good, because strong planning. What do we just talk about? Planning for the future. Planning. So planning and being prepared is something that it goes along with your business, goes along with your life. Everybody does it. You need to do it. And so strong planning and allocation make it a lot easier. Hire qualified staff to take positions that you don't need to be doing. Like, if I don't need to be doing estimates, then hire somebody to come on and do an estimate. Or if I don't need to be doing invoicing, hire somebody to come on and do invoicing part-time as a office worker or anything. And something on a small scale that we have done is we hired a bookkeeper. Like, that's something that I don't need to be doing every single night. It's not something I need to be spending my time on. It's not something I want to be spending my time on, especially once Jack gets here in the evenings. I don't want to have to come home and do bookkeeping. I want to be able to play with him and spend time together. So that's a small step in the long-term plan of getting a business to the point where it runs without me there.
Yeah. And just, knowing the quality and importance of your time, and what do you as the business owner and you as the person running the business need to be focusing your time on. And not that every aspect isn't important, but there are definitely things that you as the owner need to spend more time on than other things, I think, that are easier to delegate.
Yeah,
and
no,
that you need to
be doing income producing activities that only you can do.
Yes.
I don't need to be, this is something that sounds like top down, but it's really not. Like, this is the way a high level CEO thinks, is I shouldn't be changing the oil in my mowers. I should not be washing the trucks. I shouldn't be changing the blades or sharpening the blades or changing the belts.
Well, and it's not even that you shouldn't. It's that you're the only one that can be doing certain things. So you need to focus on those things.
Yes, anybody.
And doing what you do well. Anybody can
change blades. And that's something that I still have to work on. But it goes back to when we're in this point, like that we're at right now, of trying to hire a good foreman and really step out of the business more. You have to set clear expectations at the beginning of, this is your role, this is what you're going to be doing, and make sure they're qualified for that and that they want to do it. Because you don't want to hire somebody that doesn't want to be there, first off. And then you don't want to hire somebody who thought they were going to be doing something else, but then you try to throw more stuff on them. So if you tell them they're coming on to go mow grass every day, but then you say, you got to come in early 30 minutes and stay 30 minutes late because of all the stuff that has to be done, then that's that. Right. So, it's just one of those things that, I don't know, it's tough. There's a lot of things involved with running the business and growing the business. You have to just, like I said, set good expectations for the employees that you hire, and in those, trust them.
Right.
You can't get caught up in that. And I'm preaching to the choir here, because I'm the world's worst about this. There's times I just have to sit back and let them make the mistake, because I know that I could do it better and faster. But I have to stop, because if I ever want to get out of the business, I've got to let the employees do it. So
you have to learn. Yeah.
Yep. That's that's good stuff. The points 1 and 2 there are that's pretty good. Okay, so for number 3, I think it's a really good one as well. A lot of these are pretty good, but 3 is one that's very beneficial, I think, and it can help everybody out there. So it says, especially those of you that are working in the business together. So like for me and Savannah, we don't work in the business together really. She has her own career as a nurse, and I run the business pretty much solely myself. She helps some, but
not really. If we're being totally honest.
Yeah, I pretty much run the business myself. But one of the point number 3 here is know your lane and stay in it. And that's something that I think that could be I think that could cause some really big problems. I could see that causing problems.
That's like a tough love type thing. It's something kind of hard to chew on, but you need to hear it. Yeah,
because you're both good at certain things, and you don't need to try to overlap in something that you're not good at.
Yeah.
That's something that I think is very, very true, because if we were, so say Savannah does get into business one day full time, and again, that's the goal, is for her to not have to work as a nurse all the time. But I think one example for us would be, she doesn't need to be in the vision dream casting category. Like I've already said, I'm not that good at it, but I'm a lot better at it than Savannah is when it comes to like taking the risk to get to somewhere where we want to be.
Yeah.
And that's something we were just even talking about today. What we were talking about? Oh, sponsors on the podcast. We were talking about a company that I wanted to sponsor the podcast one day.
Yeah.
And she just laughed it off. And I was like, it obviously it was it's a massive multi-million-dollar company, but it can happen. You never know where it's gonna. What's gonna happen? Hard work's gonna pay off. But it's just one of those things that would be my category. What do you think your category would be that I need to stay out of your way?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I feel like that was just more of a just like knowing your lane and staying in it. As far as I feel like it applies a little more to us right now, like in me not really being in the business, because we talk about how important it is to communicate, even though I'm not in the business every day, about finances and things like that. But I genuinely think this is more of a point for me. Like, I need to hear that. Like, I need to know that, I need to stay in my lane a little bit more, as far as not questioning you and like trying to help you make those decisions when, that's not my lane, that's not my forte, and I don't really know much about it. And I need to kind of focus on the things that I can do to support you so that you can do those things. And not, try and do more than I really know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it's not to say that your opinion isn't valued. It's just to say that you're not doing it, like you're not in there every day. So you want to give advice on things that you know to talk about. And a lot of the things in business you don't. Like, it's just one of those things. So
yeah. I just think it was easier. Like, that's something that we kind of struggled with more in the beginning, as far as like me trying to like always know what was going on and questioning decisions and things like that. But I think that's a really good point, is knowing your lane and staying in it, as far as like just not questioning things that you don't really know much about, because I think that kind of caused some problems for us. But on the flip side, kind of moving along to point number 4, is not being afraid to disagree. So there are things that I don't know a lot about, but that, it doesn't mean that I can't offer a different perspective on certain things.
Yeah.
And just a different point of view, that, well, if you look at it this way, like, maybe that's not the best way to do it, or things like that. So I don't think you should take that so literally that you don't question your partner, or like want to talk things over if you don't agree with something that they're doing or a direction that they're taking it. So I just think that's also a good flip side to that.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things in here that I took away is, it says when you're going over these small things, like, you don't have to completely agree on the small things, like the little small arguments that you go over. Like, it's okay to have disagreements there. You need to have good disagreements sometime. Don't run from them. Like, accept them, accept both sides, and have both sides' opinions respected and welcomed. You need to be really in tune and in touch, on the same page on the big areas of the company. So, like, in here it says capital allocation. What are you going to do with money? The capital that you have in your business, like that. And then the strategic areas of, like, where are you going to go? The vision of the company. That is something that you need to be on the same page about. Going all the way back to point number 1, you create a vision for your life and your business. That is something that you both have to be on the same page about. Because if you don't do that, then all these other things are going to fall into line, that you're going to start arguments, because you're going to want to spend money one way, and then you're going to want to spend money the next way, because you don't have the same end goal in mind.
Right.
So you do need to be on the same page on those big things in the company, and where you're going to be at, how the money gets spent, things like that. But a lot of the little things that when you get to the point of where you're a growing company, where you have team members and board members, or maybe an office staff or something like that, then start including them on those conversations as well, and like be open and share those things with your staff, because that helps. It helps them see into the business a little more, and also I feel like it would give them an opportunity to give some input and feel a little more respected for their opinion. People would respect their opinion a lot more.
Yeah.
You as the owners might, and it might make them feel more like it's a part of the company, not just an employee.
Yeah. I mean, people more so enjoy working for something or somebody, or towards a goal that they feel like means something. So being transparent about it can help that, encourage that.
Yep, for sure. And then the last point here, this is going to be a pretty short episode, but the last point here is number 5, and this one's pretty good because this is one that I see talked about a lot, and it's be okay with the gray. Don't be afraid. That's 4. Yeah, be okay with the gray. That's the name of point number 5 there. And it's talking about be okay when work and life, family life and work life overlap a little bit, because that's going to happen. And we talk about, so like on this show, we talk about our mentor, role models, whatever you want to call them, a lot, like people that we look up to for where we want to be in 10 years or 20 years or however long, like people that are older than us that we look up to, have bigger companies than us, whatever it may be. The perfect example I think I've heard of this is Caleb and Brittany Allman. And because their work and their life right now is it overlaps a lot, because they're building their shop, they're still running their business full time, and they still have to have a family together. But they always take their kids to the shop. Like, they tell their kids why they're doing this. Why, if they have to work late on a Saturday or something, like they make sure and tell their kids why. So it almost goes back into the big crazy cycle we talked about on the last episode, the last Marriage Monday episode last week. It's a big cycle, and it goes all the way back to communication. And if you have to communicate with your kids and tell them why, and you don't want to have a conversation about work every time you go out to a family dinner. Obviously not. You don't want to be talking about work stuff then, like every single time. But if it happens, it happens, and accept it and welcome it, and realize, I realize right now, we're building a family business, and whatever other things we start along the way in the next 5 years or 10 years, that's for our family. Like, go back to what is your why. And I feel like a lot of people out there that we ask on the podcast, what is your why? It comes down to their children, their spouses, and their family and friends. And that's what it, in some way, shape, or form, to influence them, to impact them, to make a better future for them. And so think about that when you're having these conversations, when you're having the debates, when you disagree. Think about all those things, and just remember, like, you want to include your family in that, because you're building family businesses. And I know some of you might be listening to this and you're serial entrepreneurs and you're just building business to sell them. And that's okay. If that's one thing, then you might not want your kids to be involved in every little thing, because you're not building a family business for them to take over when they're 25. But I think a lot of you out there listening, myself included, could see our children taking over the business that you're running when you get to the point where you retire. And I don't know, that might be the case, it might not be the case. I don't know that far out. But I think it's important along the way that you raise your kids in the business. And like I'm saying, I don't know. I don't have kids yet, so I'm not going to sit here and try to give a ton of advice on that. But I know that even when we go out to dinner, we don't totally, like, we still, even though we're on a date, we're not going to focus on work. And it's easier for us to say. Like I said, this is a lot easier for us because Savannah isn't in the business every single day. But when we go out to eat, there's still times where we talk about work. When I talk about things that we're doing and how money's going to be spent and things like that. So I don't know. What is your take on that? Mine, I like everything they said. You need to include it as you need to be open about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. As far, and I just think about kind of when Caleb and Brittany would joke about how, they had their date night, but sometimes their date night ended up with them at Home Depot.
Yeah.
And, going over stuff for the shop or things like that. And it just because, you want to have that time together. I mean, there are times when, you want to be able to set it aside for sure. But it's okay if, it comes up at the dinner table or you overlap. You just don't want it to get to a point where every single time you're spending time together or you're supposed to, be on a date or whatever, that the business is the focus of the conversation. I think it's important to kind of remember that your business is for your family. It shouldn't run your family. Yeah,
that's good.
The business and everything that you do day in and day out is for your family. It shouldn't control your family.
That's what we talked about. Like that's why you do it most of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's good stuff. I think those are all good points that you can take and implement. And I know I'm definitely going to think about these this week and while I'm out working and things like that. So I don't know. It's like I said, this wasn't a crazy in-depth episode. But it was just something I was reading the article, and I was like, this is good. Let's do a podcast on this and go over these, talk about them a little more. So if you enjoyed today's episode, do us a solid, leave us a rating and review. Tell your friends about it. If you have married friends that run businesses together, tell them about the show, share it on your social media, and let it get out there and reach people, because this is going to go outside of the green industry. Like, obviously, we have plans to bring on people who have run engineering companies and build machines and do all kinds of different things that are going to be way outside the green industry. So if you have any friends like that, share it with them and help us grow the show, and so we can continue to grow the community one relationship at a time. But I think without any further ado, that's going to wrap this one up. We got a full week ahead. I hope everybody has a great week when you're out mowing and or doing whatever you're doing, hardscaping, or maybe you're outside of the green industry and you're listening to this show. Then I really appreciate you tuning in, and it means the world to me that we're growing the show here slowly but surely. And it's just it's been a fun ride to get to this point, and I'm excited to see where we're going to go. So, like I said, without any further ado, that's going to be it for this one. We'll catch up with everybody here on the next episode.